Trains that move without locomotives. Quantum chips solving problems that would take classical computers 10 septillion years. Mars helicopters that land themselves. These 10 technologies just made the impossible completely real. Nevomo's MagRail booster eliminates the need for locomotives entirely. Each freight wagon becomes its own engine, using linear motor propulsion integrated directly into existing tracks. The system transforms conventional rail cars into independently powered units that accelerate, brake, and operate autonomously, whether connected in a 200-car train or running solo. The retrofit involves installing linear motor stators along tracks while equipping wagons with control electronics and passive elements. 6 engineers can upgrade a kilometer of track in just 3 days. The Intelligent Command Unit ensures precise coordination between hundreds of wagons simultaneously, preventing collisions while maximizing track capacity. Trains increase frequency by 300% without adding locomotives. Germany's Hamburg port terminal already operates 12 MagRail-equipped wagons, moving containers 24/7 without locomotives. Poland's coal transport routes report 50% reduction in transit times using the system. The technology particularly excels on steep gradients where traditional trains struggle. Wagons climb 6% inclines that would stall locomotive-pulled trains. Industrial facilities eliminate switching engines entirely, with wagons self-navigating complex rail yards. The economic impact is staggering. Eliminating locomotives saves $2 million per train in equipment costs. Energy consumption drops 40% since only moving wagons consume power, not idle locomotives. Maintenance requirements plummet without complex diesel engines. 10 railway workers can manage operations that previously required 50. By 2027, Nevomo expects 5,000 kilometers of MagRail track operational across Europe. Cognify. Rehabilitation. Through neural implants. Hashem. Al-Ghaili's Cognify facility replaces prison cells with neural rehabilitation chambers. Instead of serving 20 years for violent crimes, offenders undergo minutes of AI-driven memory implantation that makes them experience their victims' suffering directly. The technology doesn't punish. It fundamentally rewrites criminal psychology through forced empathy. The process begins with detailed brain mapping identifying regions controlling memory, emotion, and moral reasoning. AI generates hyper-realistic sensory sequences recreating crimes from victims' perspectives. Neural implants or advanced headsets deliver these experiences directly to consciousness. A murderer feels their victim's terror. A thief experiences the poverty they caused. The emotional weight of years compressed into minutes of intense psychological transformation. 8 neuroscientists operate each Cognify chamber, monitoring brain activity throughout the process. Safety protocols prevent psychological fracturing. Experiences calibrated to reform, not destroy. Subjects retain their core identity while gaining profound understanding of their actions' consequences. Initial trials with volunteer subjects show 85% reduction in aggressive tendencies post-treatment. Brain scans confirm permanent alterations in empathy-related neural pathways. Critics raise massive ethical concerns. Who decides which memories to implant? Can forced neural alteration ever be consensual? The technology could enable authoritarian thought control. Yet supporters argue traditional incarceration fails. 68% reoffense rates versus Cognify's projected 15%. The debate rages, but the technology exists. Singapore begins trials next year. The future of justice might not involve bars, but bites. Deep Robotics X30, the unstoppable inspector. The X30 quadruped robot enters environments that would kill humans instantly. Operating in temperatures from -20 degrees Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius, it navigates flooded tunnels, radioactive zones, and collapsing structures. Singapore's Power Authority deployed 12 X30, nicknamed Spot, to inspect underground electrical tunnels where human entry means certain death from toxic gases. 4 specialized engineers control each X30 remotely while it autonomously navigates complex terrain. The robot climbs 45-degree slopes, steps over 20-centimeter obstacles, and squeezes through passages barely wider than itself. Its fusion perception system combines thermal and visible light imaging, detecting gas leaks invisible to human eyes, identifying structural cracks before collapse, mapping radiation levels in real time. The swappable battery system enables continuous operation. When power depletes, the X-30 returns to base where 2 technicians swap batteries in 30 seconds. It immediately resumes missions, achieving 24/7 inspection capability. Industrial facilities report 90% reduction in workplace deaths after deploying X-30 units. The robot detects problems weeks before human inspectors would notice them. At 4 meters per second, it covers ground faster than humans in hazardous gear. The IP67 rating means complete dust protection and survival submerged in water. Construction sites use X-30SS to inspect partially collapsed buildings after earthquakes. Nuclear plants send them into reactor cores. Mining operations deploy them in unstable shafts. Each X-30 replaces 6 human inspectors while eliminating risk entirely. Skyfall. Mars Helicopter Swarm. NASA's Skyfall mission deploys 6 autonomous helicopters to Mars without traditional landers. The revolutionary approach has helicopters separate from their descent capsule during atmospheric entry, autonomously navigating to landing sites while the capsule crashes elsewhere. Each helicopter scouts different regions simultaneously, covering 100 times more area than rovers. The Skyfall maneuver occurs at 10 kilometers altitude. Helicopters deploy rotors while falling, achieving controlled flight within seconds. Onboard AI selects landing sites based on real-time terrain analysis. No communication with Earth during this phase. Complete autonomous decision-making. 5 aerospace engineers spent 3 years perfecting algorithms that succeed in 95% of simulations. Each helicopter carries ground-penetrating radar, detecting subsurface water ice to 10 meters depth. High-resolution cameras create 3D terrain maps accurate to 2 centimeters. They identify mineral deposits, analyze atmospheric composition, and search for biosignatures. Flying at 50 meters altitude, they cover 20 kilometers daily, what rovers achieve in a year. The swarm operates collaboratively. When one discovers interesting features, others converge for detailed analysis. They relay data between units, ensuring information reaches Earth even if individual helicopters fail. Battery constraints limit flight to 10 minutes, but solar panels enable multiple daily missions. Building on Ingenuity's success, Skyfall transformed single demonstration flights into coordinated exploration networks. 7 mission specialists will control the swarm from JPL, managing humanity's first extraterrestrial air force. Willow Quantum Chip, Computing Beyond Reality. Google's Willow Quantum Processor solved a problem in 5 minutes that would take classical supercomputers 10 septillion years, longer than the universe has existed. The 105-qubit chip doesn't just compute faster, it operates in computational dimensions classical computers cannot access. This isn't incremental improvement, but fundamental transformation of what computation means. 12 quantum engineers at Google's Santa Barbara facility achieved below-threshold operation. Adding more qubits actually reduces errors instead of multiplying them. Previous quantum computers became unusable beyond 50 qubits due to error accumulation. Willow scales to hundreds while maintaining stability. The breakthrough required cooling chips to 0.01 Kelvin, colder than deep space. The processor uses transmon qubits with coherence times reaching 100 microseconds, eternity in quantum terms. Error correction happens faster than errors accumulate. The chip performed random circuit sampling that would consume more energy than exists in the observable universe using classical methods. This proves quantum supremacy, tasks impossible for any classical computer regardless of size. Applications remain limited but revolutionary. Drug companies simulate molecular interactions impossible to model classically. Financial firms optimize portfolios across millions of variables simultaneously. 3 pharmaceutical researchers using Willow discovered potential COVID treatments in hours versus years of traditional computation. Though not yet breaking encryption, experts project encryption breaking capability within 5 years. The quantum era isn't coming, it's operational. Plenty. Vertical farms. Agriculture without Earth. Plenty's vertical farms produce 400 times more food per square foot than traditional farming. Their Compton, California facility generates 4.5 million pounds of produce annually on just 2 acres, equivalent to 400 acres of farmland. 30 agricultural technicians manage operations that would require 500 traditional farm workers. Crops grow in 30-foot towers under precisely calibrated LED spectrums. Each plant receives exact wavelengths optimizing growth. Blue for vegetation, red for fruiting, far red for stem elongation. Sensors monitor 100,000 plants individually, adjusting nutrients and light in real time. Machine learning algorithms predict harvest times within hours. Robots handle planting, monitoring, and harvesting without human contact. Water consumption drops 95% through closed-loop hydroponics. No pesticides needed in sterile environments. No weather delays or seasonal limitations. Consistent harvests every 14 days year-round. Produce reaches stores within 24 hours of harvest versus weeks for traditional farming. Nutritional density increases 20% through optimized growing conditions. The Wyoming Research Facility tests 50 crop varieties simultaneously. 8 botanists develop growing recipes, precise environmental parameters for each species. Strawberries that typically require California's climate now grow in Saudi Arabian facilities. Middle Eastern operations prove food security doesn't require arable land. By 2030, Plenty projects 500 vertical farms feeding 50 million people using 1% of traditional farming's land. CA-1 Europa, the AI fighter jet. The CA-1 Europa eliminates pilots entirely. Helsing's AI system makes combat decisions in microseconds, engaging targets, evading threats, coordinating with wingmen without human input. This autonomous fighter doesn't assist pilots, it replaces them completely. 20 software engineers programmed combat behaviors surpassing human reaction times by factor of 1,000. The aircraft operates solo or in coordinated swarms. 12 Europas share sensor data, creating distributed awareness no single pilot could achieve. They execute complex maneuvers impossible for human pilots, 15G turns that would kill humans. Without life support systems, cockpits, or ejection seats, the design optimizes purely for performance. Stealth characteristics improve 40% without cockpit canopies reflecting radar. Modular payload bays accept different mission packages in 30 minutes. Air-to-air combat, ground attack, electronic warfare, reconnaissance. One airframe handles all roles. 5 ground controllers manage entire squadrons that previously required 50 pilots. The AI learns from every mission, improving tactics continuously. Simulations show Europa squadrons defeating human pilots 95% of engagements. European defense acknowledges the implications. Autonomous weapons raise ethical questions about machines making kill decisions. Yet, military strategists argue AI fighters are inevitable. Whoever deploys them first gains overwhelming advantage. The Europa enters production 2026. Traditional fighter pilots may become obsolete within a decade. Aerial combat's future involves no humans in the sky. TAE Technologies, hydrogen boron fusion. Clean energy from star power. TAE Technologies achieved what physicists called impossible for decades: stable hydrogen boron fusion at 100 million degrees Celsius without radioactive waste. Unlike traditional fusion requiring tritium, this reaction uses abundant elements producing only helium and clean energy. 16 plasma physicists spent 12 years perfecting the beam-driven field-reversed configuration that maintains plasma stability for 30 milliseconds, an eternity in fusion terms. The Norman facility in California houses a reactor nicknamed Copernicus that's the length of a semi-truck. Powerful neutral beams inject hydrogen and boron atoms at such velocity they fuse on impact, releasing energy without neutron radiation. No radioactive fuel, no radioactive waste, no meltdown risk. The process generates 3 times more energy than consumed, crossing the critical break-even threshold. 4 advanced sensors monitor plasma behavior 10,000 times per second, feeding data to AI algorithms that adjust magnetic fields in real time. The system learned to sustain stable fusion through machine learning, analyzing millions of plasma shots to identify optimal configurations. Traditional fusion reactors require massive facilities. TAE's approach scales to power plant size. Commercial viability arrives 2030. A single facility generates 500 megawatts, enough for 500,000 homes. Construction costs half that of nuclear fission plants. Fuel costs nearly zero since hydrogen and boron are abundant. Japan signed contracts for 10 reactors. California's grid operator commissioned feasibility studies. This isn't experimental science anymore. It's pre-production engineering. The fusion energy era begins not with deuterium-tritium, but with hydrogen-boron, and not in 2050, but next decade. Synchron stent road, brain-computer interface without surgery. Synchron's stent road brain implant enters through blood vessels, eliminating the need for invasive skull surgery. Inserted via catheter through the jugular vein, the device reaches the motor cortex in a 20-minute procedure, requiring only local anesthesia. 8 paralyzed patients now control computers, smartphones, and smart homes using only thoughts, typing at 23 words per minute without moving a muscle. The stent electrode array expands against blood vessel walls near the brain's surface, detecting neural signals through the vessel itself. 16 electrodes capture brain activity as patients imagine movements. Thinking about moving, a hand generates signals decoded by machine learning algorithms. 7 neurotechnologists refined the AI to recognize thought patterns with 94% accuracy after just 2 weeks of training. Unlike competing implants requiring skull openings and direct brain contact, the stent road avoids infection risks and eliminates recovery time. Patients leave the hospital same day. The device remains functional for years without maintenance. One patient, a 62-year-old ALS sufferer, now manages his entire digital life independently. Email, banking, social media, entertainment, all controlled by thought. The system integrates seamlessly with existing technology. iOS compatibility launches next quarter. Smart home integration already operational. Patients control lights, thermostats, door locks, and televisions mentally. 4 patients return to remote work positions, operating computers faster than able-bodied coworkers using traditional mice. FDA approval for commercial rollout expected 2025. Synchron's waitlist contains 12,000 paralysis patients. The stent road doesn't just restore independence. It proves human consciousness can interface directly with digital systems without cutting open skulls. From trains that defy conventional physics to brain implants that read minds through blood vessels, these 10 technologies aren't science fiction anymore. They're operational reality reshaping our world right now. Quantum computers solving impossible problems, fusion reactors burning cleaner than the sun, autonomous fighters patrolling our skies, and farms feeding millions without soil. The future didn't arrive gradually. It exploded into existence when engineers refused to accept the word impossible. Which technology will transform your life first? Will it be the stent road restoring movement to paralyzed loved ones? TAE's fusion reactors powering your city without carbon? Or perhaps Plenty's vertical farms growing fresh strawberries in desert climates? Drop your prediction in the comments below and hit subscribe to witness more impossible breakthroughs becoming everyday reality. The next decade will make today's impossibilities look quaint, and you'll want front row seats to watch it all unfold.